How would you feel if you were never capable of living a normal social lifestyle? Not by choice, but by chance. I'm talking about autism. Not only have I done a lot of research on this topic, but I was an aide to a boy in high school named Bobby who was autistic. I'm sure many of us have come across someone autistic and even might have teased him due to abnormal behaviors he or she may have been engaging in. To put a stop to all ignorance, today I will define what autism is, explain the symptoms and the cures, and describe the epidemiology of the disorder over some years. First, I would like to start by defining what autism is. Autism is a disorder of neurodevelopment characterized by impaired social interaction and communication and by restricted and repetitive behavior. Autism affects information processing in the brain by altering how nerve cells and their synapses connect and organize. That is the two brains. The one on the top is an autistic brain size, and the one on the bottom is a normal brain size. As you can see, the autistic brain size is larger. And the boy I was an aide to, his head was bigger than mine. Parents usually notice signs of autism before their child turns 3 years of age. Myers-Johnson from the Council of Children with Disabilities states that early signs include lack of interest in toys. Many of us know that all children like toys, and it's kind of weird to see a child not really play with toys. Another sign is lack of response to others. They may lack communication skills with one another. They resist cuddling. People know kids love to be under their mother. They may not want to cuddle, in this case, if they're autistic. Reduction or increased level of activity. They might not play at all, or they might overly play abnormally. The symptoms of autism include frequent behavioral outbursts or tantrums. The tantrums are not because they're mad or they're not getting their way, but the tantrums are from lack of communication. They don't know how else to say what they want. Another symptom is inappropriate attachment to objects. They may play with toys, but it'll be awkward. They may not, if it's a race car, they may not push it. They'll like put their foot on the race car instead. I don't know. Sustain abnormal play. So that's abnormal still. Uneven motor skills, they may do hand slapping, and they may spaz out, like blink out, as you can see right there. The little girl is kind of blank staring. And they may maintain little or no eye contact, so if they're talking to you, they may not look into your eyes. They may look away. I want to show a video of a child with autism, and they are portraying some of the symptoms. So as you saw in the video, I think that was his dad holding his hand. He wasn't looking into his eyes or anything. So a race car, he was spinning the wheel instead of pushing the car. The fan, he was kind of sitting there. I don't know. Symptoms of autism may increase in severity when the child enters adolescence and often decrease in severity as they grow into adulthood. However, the autism does not go away entirely, and I'm sure you guys are wondering if you can get rid of the disorder with medication. There are no cures for the disorder. However, many of the symptoms can be treated with medication. There's antipsychotic meds, and they treat the tantrums, or they at least keep it at a mild stance, so the kid won't have like seizures and stuff. And then there's tranquilizers to treat the repetitive movements. The little boy was doing this often, so that would be for that. The epidemiology, or the study of factors affecting autism spectrum disorders, show the changes of reported autistic kids in the U.S. Here we can see on this bar graph that from 1996 to 2006, the reported cases of autism have risen from about less than 1,000 to almost 6,000 reported cases of autism. So today I've informed you all about what autism is, the signs and the symptoms, and how and if they can be treated. Now that you know about the disorder, you guys will never fall under the statistics of teasing the autism.
All right, Rolake, I like the opening and the closing of the speech. I like the rhetorical question and kind of the imperative sort of statement that you make at the end, you know, trying to discourage people from the teasing sort of thing. That's okay. Your topic's clearly identified. I think your goal needs to be a little bit more focused, although introducing us to the subject is kind of ultimately what it's about. You've got a good personal justification, and there's a really good setup of what the content is going to be at the beginning of the speech. I did not, however, in the course of the speech, see it following through as clearly. It came across much more random in the speech itself. Occasionally there's a reference to the visual aid that you point at, but the visual aid being across the room from you, sometimes you were talking about something that's on there and there was no reference to it. Part of the problem is that it's all on the one poster board, so separating it out and picking out when something is being used as a transition to the next idea was a little bit hard. Early on, it seemed like there were a couple of source citations, but in the rest of the speech, I didn't really get that kind of research being put into the presentation. I know that you came up with the statistics someplace. You didn't invent them, so make sure that you give us the source citation on those. That bar graph that you have at the end, I'm not sure that it's clear if it's 6,000 cases each year or there are only 6,000 in the U.S. You know, 6,000 in the U.S., to be honest, that doesn't sound like a lot, and so I don't think that that's really what it meant. So you need to be a little bit clearer about when you're using some of that information. The video clip, it goes on a little long, and I think what you needed to do was what you did after the clip, you needed to do while the clip was going on. Instead of us listening to the charming music, which is very entertaining, but you might be pointing out, you'll notice here as his dad is holding him, he never really looks at and engages his dad. Look at the toys, you know, how is he playing with them? He's got them lined up, and when it comes to the truck or the tractor, he's not rolling it across the floor, he's just spinning the wheel. You could talk about all of that while it's going on, and then we could see it instead of kind of show it. There's a minute and 42 seconds of you're not doing anything except playing the music, and you know the music's playing in the background, and I think it would make more sense if you had integrated those things together. I think you do a nice job talking to the audience and giving us a reason to listen to it, but you need to make it a little more coherent, because you got everything on that poster board and we're jumping around, and it sounded like you had a good setup, but I didn't think the execution in the body of the speech was as sharp as it needed to be. All right, thank you.